So this year alone, avocado production in Australia has soared over 30,000 tonnes to around 124,000 tonnes. And that's meant that the supply per capita has reached 4.8 kilos, which is roughly 22 avocados per person. So there's so many avocados for every person in Australia, and the prices are really cheap right now at approximately 47% below the 5-year average. So it's a really good deal for consumers.
Great for consumers, not so good potentially for producers who are dealing with lower prices at a time of higher costs?
Yeah, exactly. So there's really a lot more pressure on margins right now for avocado producers because the trade prices are really low at the moment. And then they've also seen quite high input cost rises from things like fertilizer and diesel. So, both of those adding up has really put pressure on margins for producers, which is not very good.
So with this, is this something that's a little bit more cyclical that we can sort of expect sort of, seasonal elements as well as market conditions to then see a lift in prices once again? Or is there something that a little bit more, perhaps you could say, structural going on that could see, our avo on toast being much cheaper than what we're used to paying for it?
Yeah, so actually, this is the beginning for quite a large production growth over the next few years. So from 2016 to 2019 was a key period of planting avocado trees, and most of those trees are actually still to produce avocados. So we've still got a lot more production coming online in the next few years. So, it's not just a one-off year of a supply glut. We might actually see this happen for the next few years. But this will depend. I mean, some regions have different production. For example, like Queensland's very stable production year on year, whereas in Western Australia, they have alternate bearing, which means one year it's a really good year and the other year it's a really bad year. So this coming summer, production from the Western Australian region will be below average. So we might be importing a bit more.
Right, and in terms of our key export markets here, there's a bit of a lift in demand from some of those, I guess, rising consumer classes in Southeast Asia. Is that about right?
Yeah, so we currently have access to three main markets, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Malaysia. And our exports this year alone have gone up 350%. So quite a large increase in volume exported. However, we still have a long way to go because to get the sustainable prices producers need, we need to be exporting a much larger volume. And that will mean that we need to actually get export access for a lot of other countries, which we don't have. So we have quite limited access when you compare it to, say, New Zealand. They actually export most of their avocados to Australia, but they do have a lot more market access, which means that when we don't need as many avocados, they're able to export that volume elsewhere. So we need to work on our export access.
Right, okay. So we need the avocado lobby potentially to be banging on the doors of Canberra, trying to, tee up some trade deals to give us greater access into different markets. Is that about right?
Yeah, and that's certainly happening right now. We've seen, like past year, we've been able to export some produce from Western Australia to Japan, but that doesn't include all of Australia. So key markets that we're looking to improve export access into are like Japan, Thailand, and India. And they will getting that export access will allow us to really improve our volume of exports.
And of course, that comes at a time where we're competing with other major exporters as well for that market share.
Yeah, exactly. So because we're not importing as many from New Zealand, there's more competition from New Zealand. We also have a lot more competition from Mexico and South America because they've been mostly focused on North America and exporting to Europe as well, but they are leaning more to market diversification as they improve their production as well.